Wave, everyone, hi! Welcome back, everybody, to Shades of Tartarus Episode 4, our Lancer RPG actual play. We took a couple weeks off, but we are back here, ready to be anime as fuck. And without further ado, we're just gonna get started with our GM, our Game Master, and introducing ourselves and our characters. So, take it away, y'all.
Hey, hello. It's your Mecha Master, Obadiah. I will be running Lancer today, and today I have a the question I have for everyone is in the event that this was instead a Western, and each of you were playing you know heavily stylized gunslingers. What would be your signature firearm?
Oh, yes, I will be going first, won't I? Haha, hello. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. Well, fantastic to see you all once again. I will be playing Julian Tablanet, a professional con artist and recently mech pilot. I suppose if I was to have a gun in a Wild West setting, it would be a classic gold inlaid six shooter engraved with roses on the handle.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anna at Numeria941 on the internet. Today I'm playing our sniper Ariadne, and even though this isn't like technically sniper related, I feel like if she was in a Western, she would just go with a very classic Winchester bolt action rifle.
Y'all, it's your boy Wally. Oh boy, I'm playing Xavier, former mafia hitman turned mecha pilot turned silent advisor for this ragtag group. If I had to choose any weapon for him, he would have a simple pump action shotgun is what he would have. Simple, straight to the point, pull trigger, bam, get the job done.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. I get to play Marlowe today, our delightful, terrible hacker. And as for what Western gun, I am just going to go for the Western gun, the Colt Single Action Army. Fan the hammer. It's the classic, because that's what we're doing here.
Hi, you might have stole mine. Hey everyone, I'm Val. Today I bring to you Nevaeh, the former, I don't know about former, she is a current trendsetter and social media influencer, Nevaeh Russo. She, as far as her weapon would go, you know what? Ooh, I literally was Googling what are the cutest guns that exist. And you know what? I think it would be one of those. Well, it has to fit in your purse, but and it's the Austrian watchmaker. It's the one that you have in your palm that you're just there during World War II to just like pop someone in the gut if they get too close to you.
I'm surprised he didn't go with the duck foot.
Mm.
I
The
was thinking the
watchmaker's really
lipstick
cute.
gun.
The
Yeah.
watchmaker's really cute though. It's really cute. Like it's just so hey, if you want any of us to have cute guns, just as a reminder, this is a viewer affected game. You can affect the game with your bits, subs, and donations. Every 100 bits that you give to us, you can give rerolls to anyone in the party. When you subscribe to the channel, you can either give an auto crit success or an accuracy point to anyone, accuracy dice to anyone here in the channel. And if you donate money, if you're just like, hey, here's some straight up cash through coffee or uh, Streamlabs, you can just make shit happen. Like, you can give us the guns that we wanted, that we talked about today. It is a sliding scale, of course, and nothing that is suggested will ever cross any lines and veils that we have established here. It's always at the GM's discretion. And anyway, that's us. That's me. Obi, go ahead and take us away, fam.
So, back on the ship, as you have recently returned, you had just gotten a hit on comms from your erstwhile contacts in the Red Fins, saying that they had a timetable. Shortly after receiving that, and what you imagine is probably only occurred because of they're they're actually communicating with you at light speed, and in this day and in this future age, that means delay. So you receive another message shortly thereafter. Situation escalated, timetables shifted. We'll in about it'll be in about this sector of space, and you get coordinates that you're sure you could turn into a location given time. Uh, 3 days, and nothing further. But and less and just a quick refresh and a fairly quick refresher for everyone and also myself, which will tell them back. Last I remember, there were some plans to see about acquiring a disguise for Ariadne because of, by all appearances, megacorps are capital I involved, and their most recent involvement involved the very messy murder of the artist formerly known as Traquad, uh, who, to the surprise of everybody on the station, was publicly revealed to have been one of the Night Lords, a another one of the gangs that like station 68369 their home. And last I checked, you had marked your very convenient target at the time. So, what you got 3 days? What y'all doing?
Well, I suppose that since at least payment came through from the Red Fins, and that gives us access to upgrades for, or at least the schematics for better upgrades to our mechs. Since we have the time, we should probably go and make those changes. At least there are certain changes to Jackpot that I would like to enact before it becomes showtime.
Yeah,
You're happy
same.
to. Mhm.
I don't really have any place to be while I'm busy trying to keep a low profile and not show my actual face pre-disguise time. So yeah, spending some good time in like the mechanic area of the hangar seems like a good plan.
Yeah, Xavier is 100% doing the same thing, taking a chance to finally upgrade and give his robot the more personal touches that it really needs. So he's also spending his day inside of the engineering area of the mecha hangar.
Well, first things first. Nevaeh's going to be dyeing Ariande's hair.
Yep.
So, before I get to that, I want to know what Marlowe's doing, though.
Trying to elbow his way to the AutoCAD so all these files can get updated. that and currently going through some paint swatches as the Beast of Burton's getting a new paint job. Um, there's that. I don't know if we're going to go with the Ferrari red or if we're going to go with the Jaguar Hunter green.
Jaguars are tawny though.
Decisions. I'm talking about the classic Terran Jaguar, beautiful automobile. Hunter green.
Oh, not the cat.
Xavier looks up at the frame of your robot. Looks like he's really contemplating something deep. Like, you know what he usually says. You know, he's the type of person that usually comes out with something deep and insightful to say. He's looking at this robot, hearing the paint choices you want. He goes, red makes the robot 3 times faster. And he goes right back to work what he was doing.
Red means it goes faster. It's true. It's science.
I suppose the Jaguar is the same part of ancient history that Ariadne is fascinated by.
Yes.
True. Although technically the Jaguar on the Jaguar is silver and not green. But potato.
It was that, or I was going to go with further ancient Terran history and going with the Phantom's silver color. It's a little bit off of the standard gunmetal, but I guess it could work. Maybe do a couple of carriage lines along the legs.
Very nice.
Maybe.
Very nice.
So, Ariadne, how would you like to die in 3 days?
Publicly and obviously, and just as little doubt as possible that it was actually me being 100% dead. I'm not really picky about details, you know?
Excellent choice. Julian bows like a waiter at a fancy restaurant. If you make your way over to the chair here, our sommelier, Navaya, will be providing both the drinks and the hair coloring for this occasion.
I don't know about the drinks, but yeah, definitely. I got everything here for you. Okay, let's get to work. Now, when was the last time you washed your hair?
Probably when we first got out of Tartarus.
Okay, this is actually like good because you shouldn't be doing this on clean hair because it'll burn your scalp. And I get the tub of bleach out and like I already have like an apron and I just do that whole like anime thing where I just like pull out the requirements
like
from nowhere.
5,000 implements
like,
for hair dye.
Yes.
Like, if this was like in the manga that is this page, as you see them going through all of this, you see like in the side panel of the page a little picture of Xavier in the background, but he has a little bow tie on and the little like word above it says sommelier pointed towards it.
I was about to say I don't want to take the job away from.
But it's just like a little arrow pointing towards his head that says sommelier.
At the
and,
point,
like, as in the background.
Yeah, like if we're doing this as panels and stuff like that, the background and like y'all are everything that changes, and Ariadne's face is just like the entire time throughout all of this, like what is going on?
This is probably like a 4-hour process, just letting you know.
Can I get up and like walk around during it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have to get up to pee, it's totally fine. Just let me know, like, kind of thing. We'll do the bleaching first, and then we will like let it sit for 30 minutes. Usually, if you let it sit longer than 30 minutes, it doesn't really do anything. The processing is done. And someone can tell that Addie gets her hair done a lot. And so yeah, just like sit down and y'all can go now, okay? Like at the rest of the party. It is me and Ari time.
I did want to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and have a conversation about potential murder in 3 days while you're not going anywhere, Ariadne. But if you would rather this be a private affair, we can always talk about it later.
You could do when she's processing.
Marlo, yeah.
No, I'm just picturing we have this. There's side by sides the panels of this manga, and it's Ariadne getting their hair done, Marlo stripping the paint off the neck, pressure washing, and then the processing as things are getting done, and then looking at the paint swatches, and just poking his head in as the hair color dye gets picked. Eyes just go wide. And then as Ariadne's getting the dye in the hair, a lilac coat is being applied to the beast of burden.
Amazing.
It'll be about 2 hours before the lilac gets in.
But at that point, it's just like,
Yep, amazing.
yes.
Plenty of time for me and Julian to have a chat about how I wish to really publicly die.
Ooh, what if somebody chased her to the top of a building and like pushed her off?
Well, the thing is, I was considering maybe leaving it out of our hands and letting SSC decide for themselves how they would like to kill you. If I have that correct, right? It is SSC that specifically.
I think so.
To provide the information like as it was provided to you. Basically, like the residue you found was from a weapon that I think Marlo realized that only somebody on the SSC's direct payroll could possibly afford to maintain.
Yes.
And I recall there being a conversation about kind of Ariadne being involved in a hit against them at some point in the past and there not being retribution for that? Or did I make that up?
That was what got me.
Rather the opposite.
Yeah.
Ariadne realized he had never, at any point, ever done work against SSC.
Fantastic. Thanks for clarifying that. Yes. So if SSC has things out for your neck, they probably already have eyes here. We did find evidence of that being the person who took the shot the other day. So all we just need is an anonymous tipster, and Julian fires up the Proso collar on her clothing, and her face becomes thoroughly generic.
Nice.
We just need somebody to go and see Ariadne out on the street and file an anonymous tip. And I'm sure that would be very rapidly dealt with in short order. We just need to keep an eye on her on the day that we file that call.
I think that shouldn't be too hard. As long as just gonna whoop, look and see if Nevaeh's still there and probably walked off. I think she's getting really attached to the mark, so we should be careful about that.
There's a rapid blink. Is she not aware that the mark is going to die, or?
I'm really not sure, but considering that I'm pretty sure that Nevaeh ended up in...
Ooh. I think I just got a camera freeze on my end. Hold on.
This could be her first...
The last bit of your sentence got cut off. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. Considering that I'm pretty sure Nevaeh got put in Tartarus on kidnapping as a technicality, I think I can safely say she's probably never had to, kill someone proper or be involved in it. And I don't think she's...
Well, that is an additional snag in the plan, although I must say. And Julian smiles in a surprisingly genuine manner. Additional snags to the plan that we can work with can sometimes make things more interesting.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You get the impression that organizing this particular bit of misdirection is putting Julian in her element, and she's despite the fact that at the end of this the con results in an entirely innocent person dying and a gang war possibly starting on the other side of it, she seems quite keen to let this go off without a hitch.
I mean, hopefully starting, yeah.
One thing, a voice in your head does remind you. In the brief maelstrom of over-calibered violence that was the death of the artist formerly known as Trequad. You remember that the sniper, once they got Trey, they stopped shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I do remember that. And also that the only person that was left of that original crew was, I wrote it down.
It was Hiro
Tanaka. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I have time, I mean, I do have a lot of, mech installation things to do, but I'd like to try and figure out what happened to him and where is he now.
A very good point. I wouldn't really want to have to cross swords with him. He was a good ally, but I think that would make him a very strong enemy.
Yeah, and considering that it's both he and I who are the last remaining members of that team that have survived, and I certainly didn't have the time to take everybody out while I was sitting in jail, does leave me a little bit concerned about what exactly it is he's been getting up to this whole time.
Julian is lost in thought for a minute, and probably Nevaeh comes back from kind of now the processing has been completed. The stage 2 of hair must begin.
Like, we have to go wash out the bleach. Come on.
This is such an involved thing. How often do you have to do this normally?
Like once every 2 months.
Okay.
If you want to keep doing it, like some people just dye their hair black and leave it there, and then it's like never, because black doesn't fade.
But my hair already was black. I thought the whole point was to.
Right. I'm just like giving you like a comparison is what I was saying.
Right.
So like, because your hair is naturally black, it's going to look a little red coming out. It's fine. We will tone it, and then we'll put the lilac in. And I'm like doing this as I'm washing the bleach out of your hair with gloves. So now that it's just us.
Leave you to it. Julian wanders out of the room and leaves you two to it.
Now that it's
save me.
Julian, while smiling, slowly shakes her head. No.
I'm just like, how could you betray me like this? Oh, great, awesome. Just what I always wanted.
Now that it's just us, I have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
Out of the 3 of us who are not here, Marlo, Xavier, and Julian, who would you fuck, who would you marry, and who would you kill? If you had to choose.
What?
It's just a little game. It's not serious. I'll tell you mine, but you first.
Can I have like a second to think about this? Honestly,
oh yeah, this is like you have
I've only ever really thought about the kill part, but that's just because that's what I do when I meet someone for the first time.
Oh, well then that already. So who's the kill part? Out of this?
No, sorry. I mean, I think about how I would kill people when I first meet them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, totally fair. But it's okay.
It's like
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You said that was totally fair. What the heck?
Oh no. I'm just worried. No, it's not that. I'm just worried about the clump of hair that came out. Like it's totally natural. You have plenty. Well, while you're thinking about it, I'll let you know mine. So, I would totally fuck Julian. Like, look at her. She looks like she is just a riot in bed. Let's be real here. And I'm not saying that Marlo wouldn't, but he's got to go. We can't deal with that. I don't know what I would be getting out of him, out of like a husband, and I don't even think he's like into sex, so I don't think he'd be down for it. But Xavier is totally husband material. So, what's yours?
1 second. I'm sorry, that's what broke me. Was Fuck, Marry, Kill, and Lancer.
This is
You
a
know,
good banana.
I don't think I really get the point of this game, but here's how. Can I just tell you how I'd kill everybody instead?
No, that's not how this works.
But that. Okay, you know what? But what if we just have the same answers?
Well, that's fine too. Like we can
Like
both
Marlo is clearly the biggest threat. He's the person that you would absolutely just have to kill because it's one of those like you just gotta draw first, like quick knife between the ribs thing, right? Because he's the one that is like the most not even loose cannon. He's the one that's the most ruthless. So you just got to be really, really fast on the draw.
Really quick.
Xavier,
right?
I feel like would be the kind of person who would really want to die with like a sword through the heart, but like a really awesome, badass mech sword type thing. I feel like it would be easier to do this under the guise of an honorable duel. Not that I would ever challenge him to such a thing because I really do best when I can work unseen. But
I can imagine y'all having an honorable do at your wedding reception. Yeah.
Do people usually duel at weddings that you've been to? Is that a normal thing?
Yeah. So like Prince Marquise Abdul Windsor Mountbatten Alejandro. I met him when I was like 19. And we definitely did fucked, and then he tried to marry me, and I said no, and then he tried to kill me, and I got away from that.
So, see, you also are playing this game by different rules because you were doing all three with the same person. So it's fine that I'm doing it this way.
I picked him for my fuck. He picked me for all three. He was the one that was playing the game differently.
Oh my, unbelievable.
Okay,
Julian.
Time to get up. Rings out your hair.
Oh God.
Like, all right, now we have to like put in the toner because don't look at yourself in the mirror right now, okay? And like guide you back to your chair. Y'all probably see Ariadne.
I don't really want to kill Julian because I like Julian, but if I were to have to kill Julian, it would probably have to be poison. You know, like
ooh, yeah.
Probably something in like a nice fancy perfume bottle that just the second that you spray it on your neck.
You could probably do that while you're fucking her.
That's not how this works, Nevaeh.
No, that's exactly how this works. Like, I make the rules.
If you wanted to kill someone while you were fucking them, why would you wait and go get a perfume bottle? Why wouldn't you just strangle them or smother them using a pillow? I can think of a million other ways that would be better to kill someone than being like,
hands aren't big enough to
excuse me, let me go get perfume.
You would put it, or you would poison them with like wine. And be like, a toast to our copulation. Like,
I really like the idea that while everybody else is kind of going about their business,
sentence, never, ever, ever.
In the background, everybody just simultaneously hears, that's not how that works! Well, everybody's going about their business otherwise.
Xavier just looks up. What do you think they're talking about in there?
We hear the cry in the mech bay as Whitney Houston's "I Want to Dance with Somebody" is blaring. And Marlowe stops in the midst of painting. Concern turns the volume up higher and then goes back to dancing and painting.
It's difficult. It's difficult. Like for those of you still on the ship, you actually find that like for reasons that don't seem to be immediately apparent, it started playing throughout the whole ship. Like this is presumably something that the AI has done, but presumably because you're not listening to this whole thing, you have no idea why.
Oh, so just that specific like blared, that's not how that works came through and nothing else did.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. I like that a lot.
That makes me feel great about my character's life decisions.
And after we tone it, we're going to have to rinse the toner out, and then we can put your dye in.
Sure. As long as we don't keep having... Please.
I missed the word before please. Sorry. Out of curiosity.
Oh, as long as we don't have to keep talking about how I would kill people. Well,
you're the one that
please.
decided to talk about everyone you wanted to kill. I was talking about a possible marriage prospect and a possible bed rob, and then one dead person.
Well, clearly one of those things is easier to do than the other two. So you do what you're good at, I'll do what I'm good at, and
this was just a game. You didn't have to take it so seriously. Like, it's just, something I play with my friends to get to know them better.
How much longer do I have before I can get out of the salon chair of the hot seat?
We will skip through the entire process of Ariante.
Oh my god. Oh my
emotional
god.
pain.
I'm dying. Send help.
I guess there's probably other conversations in the meanwhile. I know that Marlowe's painting the his mech. What is Xavier doing again specifically?
Xavier right now, you see Xavier pretty much he fabricated a bunch of parts needed for a remote grenade launching / mine system. But what you see it as is you see one of the fists of his robot is like set on top of like this large fist, like a large robot size, like a table that people will be working various pieces of equipment on. And you see him, he looks like he's trying to figure out a way. He's adding these remote grenades onto the front of the fist. So it basically looks like he will be launching a fist to fire at his enemies.
I do want Julian to talk with both Xavier and Marlowe, but I'm like really open as to who I have the conversation with first. I'm willing to let you two fight over me. I'm always happy to let men fight over me.
As soon as Julian walks back into the hangar, Xavier gives Julian a bit of a nod in greetings. Sounds like you've been working pretty hard with Ariadne.
Yes, this particular con is definitely more experimental than ones I've worked on in the past, but I suppose it's a bit refreshing to have to stretch my brain muscles a little bit after being interred for that long.
Honestly,
you seem to be hard at work.
Oh, no. I mean, I was able to get the most performance out of this robot during our escape, but I feel like I could do a bit more with it. Since we have this downtime, I figured I'd take this time out just to add more of my finishing personal touches to this.
Julian kind of like walks through the scene and sits on like a workbench relatively close to you and crosses her legs as she pulls up like a data slate and starts scrolling through mech options while idly chatting with you. Yes, indeed. It seems that even though we're not necessarily used to being pilots, we've already kind of adjusted to making mechs that fit our personalities surprisingly well.
That's true. It's almost as if whoever designed these robots for us knew what we were looking for.
I mean, I suppose it's no surprise that your mech is so straightforward.
Yep, that is that, or straightforward, but I'm just more comfortable being up in the front lines, taking the hits for other people, and making sure everyone else either gets to where they need to be or set themselves up for the right shot at the last minute.
Indeed.
Or in our case, hacking into an entire cargo area and hacking into a robot before it blows up and pushing it into a cargo area on our escaping jail cells.
Teamwork does make the dream work, as they say. Although, actually, she looks over the top of the hologram clipboard. Even though the eye line is above it, she could look through it at you, but the drama is too important. I did have something in mind for something we could do next time. You're one for drawing attention, and Jackpot is definitely one for slipping in through the back for a surprise attack. So next time that there is a particularly large enemy that you feel that you need some assistance of, just make a loud noise and I'll be on my way to assist. You won't see it coming, but they won't either.
He sets down his tools and turns to face her, and like he leans back against the table that he's working on, folding his arms, and just kind of like, this is like the first time he's actually noticed that he's actually like he's actually looking really relaxed for once, because he was always been so rigid. He's now looking relaxed. It's like this is like natural, like a natural like environment for him. All right, Julian. I'll definitely take that into effect. You're definitely someone I can rely on to do the sneaky thing and get to where a lot of us can't get to. You're very good at that.
Don't carry Ariadne short on that regard, too, but having multiple people that can go do that kind of thing is actually important for making the team work. But in the meantime, I need to continue practicing on how to actually operate my mech. When it said that it operated under the dance system, I didn't think it would take it so literally.
So you're saying is that you actually dance with your robot to do what you do out there?
And she stands up from the table and turns to face you and adopts something of a kind of like a ballet dancer neutral pose, makes eye contact with you and goes, think fast, and does a really rapid like back roundhouse. So she spins backwards and comes at you with the heel of her shoe. Do you block it?
Oh, he blocks it. And he, like, as soon as that kick comes in, he blocks it, and it's like a very quick movement, but he pushes the leg away and then gently takes her hand in his and spins her around into a pirouette and then dips her and holds her there for a while. It's like, that was very effective.
You left your left leg open. She backflips out of the dip, sweeping you by like hitting you with the ankle. It's messy. She doesn't land it very well, but there's like a slight pause, and you can see in her eyes that she's like, there was like 30 frames of calculating next move before she backflips out of the dip. She hesitated.
Oh, there was so as soon as he gets hit, it's legit the same exact thing that happened. It's that he was also calculating the 30 different things she could have done at this point, and he didn't count for the leg sweep. So he gets hit by the leg sweep and he falls backwards and he lands and he laughs, like an actual laugh of like he really enjoyed this.
Yeah, Julian turns to you, does a bow to the audience, which is just you alone, and she says, I should probably go check on Marlowe to make sure that he isn't getting lilac paint everywhere. And she turns to leave, and the camera follows her as she's looking towards the camera while you're standing in the background, and her face flushes red as she walks away from the conversation.
There's also like a Roomba that has been like lingering suspiciously long. Like you don't know if that means anything, but it's there. watching.
I'm sure I'm sure the ship computer is loving this shit.
That
Roomba
little
has
Roomba is
cat
like,
ears.
ooh. Yes, totally. That Roomba totally has cat ears. It has to have cat ears. It's like that Roomba's like, oh, it just turns around and goes the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
There's just this highly stylized meow.
Yeah,
As-
little cat mouth on this shitty little Roomba that saw everything.
Xavier stands up and watches her leave. He's like, huh. Didn't expect that to happen. And he goes back to work.
Mm-hmm.
As Julian's getting to this part of the hangar with the lilac paint, Scissor Sisters' I Can't Decide starts playing.
You have an eclectic taste in music, Marlo.
Oh, hi. I appreciate all forms of art. And frankly, when you're having to do work on this scale, it's good to have something that has some pep.
You definitely need a playlist of a certain length to be able to work through all of your current task.
Well, fortunately, I've got at least a terabyte in Bob now. But what can I do for you?
Well, we've had a little bit of a casual chat over getting these wheels spinning in motion, these gears interlinked. But I am actually not entirely sure at the extent of what you might what your abilities are. I suppose I do know what you're capable of, absolutely, but just how far are you willing to go in order to she pauses for a while, trying to think of the right words. To do what needs to be done in the name of getting our job going.
When you have as much red in the ledger as I do, you have a decision to make. Either to try and do right by people for the rest of your life, or you just don't give a fuck.
I find that doing right by people perpetually generally means that corporations take advantage of you.
Corps are amoral. That's what a corporation is. It is an
Exactly.
entity there just to create and consume.
And when human resources are literally just that, when you are nothing but charitable, people see that as a gold mine to extract until there's very little left. So, in the grand scheme of things, being charitable all the time isn't necessarily super healthy. Sometimes you just need to be a bitch.
There are degrees. But I don't think you came here to discuss philosophy.
No, not at all. As I say, I was just interested if you had any irons in the fire about our plan going forward, any keen ideas. You seem to be a crafty one.
Ariadne needs their past scrubbed. Best way to do that is make them disappear. Again, as much as I might be fond of, as he looks at his ungloved hand, upgrades. Not everyone is in the same wheelhouse as I am. But they're going to need to change appearances, and we're going to need to make them, at least for now, the corpse think that they are most certainly dead. It's the only way we're going to get any breathing room.
Indeed. In fact, I was talking a little with Ari earlier about the potential methods that she could die horribly and publicly. Julian says with a placid smile. And getting a message out to SSC that a criminal has been spotted and should be dealt with at the extreme prejudice seems like an excellent way to make sure that the target gets hit by somebody who is built for no accountability. But getting the message out to them and taken seriously is maybe something beyond my abilities. But you, however, Marlowe.
If SSC wanted her dead, she'd already be dead. Target was the friend. Until we actually know what pies he had his hand in, we're flying blind. There might be more that she pissed off, and most certainly there is, but I don't know what operators, corporate or otherwise, are on the station.
Apologies, my internet connection flickered slightly for a moment there. I caught you saying SSC would have killed them already, but I didn't get what you said after that.
No, SSC would have killed them already. But until we know precisely what pies her friend had his hand in, we're flying blind. There might be corporate agents out here, but that one, if going by just standard corporate policy, eliminated target, got on the first flight out, and is no longer in station. Especially with something that's that high caliber, can't risk it falling into the hands of ruffians.
Suggested counterpoint, Marlowe.
Certainly.
The period of time that Ariadne has been a free person has been very, very restricted so far. While elaborate, clean hits that leave no trace tend to take at least a short period of time. There's no guarantee that there isn't already somebody already out for Ariadne's neck and they've just not had the opportunity. Plus, even if SSC isn't especially interested in doing the hit, I'm sure there is something of a ransom for the 4 lancers that managed to escape the Tartarus.
That's if we're even on the radar. The fact that Tartarus went boom puts a lot of questions up.
Julian's face creases in consternation. I should hope that we would do something so elaborate and somebody would care. Otherwise, why do with the theatrics? She gestures as if it's kind of like, my time has been wasted. She doesn't yell, but the kind of like, well, you know, I would hope that it would have made some kind of wave, some kind of gossip rag with the cool shit we just did.
When Julian says that a little bit loud, you hear Xavier from all the way on his half of the hangar go, should we just print out a fating sofa for you at this point, or just not?
How does Julian?
No,
I think Julian does not respond to that. I think she just ignores you.
Oh my god, I would love a couch.
I will see about couches later. But furnishings aside, I understand your frustration. The death of 200,000 souls, it's all of a sudden mechanical failure. I understand your frustration.
Either way, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, by all means. It is right now, we still don't have much to go on. We have a heading, we have a problem. First thing is get Ariadne dead. But in the meantime, there's a canary here, a corporate canary. Because otherwise, there wouldn't be an SAC agent with self-policing brass on this station. We need to find who made the call.
Okay. Well, even if we can't use that to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, it is definitely an avenue that needs to explore. But I would like to lock in the best way to make sure that Ariadne's body double is handled before we get a call from the brass about specifically what our job is. You understand what I mean?
I get it. Best way is to make certain that the double has enough bits that look like Ariadne, but not enough bits that there can be an inquest. Okay. It could be something that removes about half the face, something messy. I would say .50 caliber, 44 in a pinch, multiple rounds, probably no more than medium range. You want to make sure that the holes are messy and thorough.
Julian's eyebrows raise slightly. It sounds like you're keen to do it yourself, Marlowe.
No, I don't take pleasure in just murdering random people. I just know what sends the right message.
Julian suppresses a smirk at what you just said, because she could be very mean and is choosing not to. Indeed. Well, I'm sure one of us will have to go and pull the trigger if we can't engage somebody else separately to do it, whether they are doing it under their own guise or under the name of the Night Lords. But for now, I should probably stop interrupting you while you're painting.
The other thing is, if there's somebody that's dumb enough to have a cyberized animal in the station, I might be able to hack it, reprogram it, have it go mayhem, and have it kill enough.
Very well. I'll leave you to think on if that would be an entertaining activity for you. Until next time, Marlowe.
Julian turns around, and by the time the conversation's all over, all of a sudden, Four Seasons begins to play.
Which one?
Winter.
Hell yeah. The saddest one. Let's go. Yeah. I guess I'm happy to vanish for a while there are other cross dialogue scenes going.
Ta-da!
Okay, sounds like we've got about the first half of day one pretty much done and did. People take the downtime. Ariadne's disguise is like worked on. In an incidental question for my own notes, has there been done any work to like disguise Ariadne's face? Like if somebody familiar with her were to look at her straight on, would they still be able to go, "That's her," but her hair is different?
My contouring skills are excellent.
Yeah, I think between both Navaya and Julian are experienced enough about doing makeup to kind of change change your face in short term. And we can think about more elaborate things later under Ariadne's permission before we go and stick warts to their face or whatever.
Oh, wow. Like, wasn't there like that one like cartoon character back in the 90s that essentially he just like put on glasses and slicked his hair back and changed in a phone booth and like nobody recognized him as a superhero? Like, didn't that happen? Like, we should just get you a really good pair of glasses.
Glasses help, but if you need plastic surgery done,
Maybe let's just see how this goes first before we cut up my face.
You could you could use some cheek injections. Just saying.
I wouldn't necessarily feel the cheeks. I'd probably just shave a little bit off the bone along the jawline.
Ooh, I see it.
Maybe as his eyes narrow and we're starting to actually get an internal view from Marlowe, and we notice that both of his eyes are cyberized as he has an internal HUD. And it's just entirely like scanning her head and just bringing up an internal HUD. Probably need to do a little bit with the eyes. Just enough.
Just a little injection, maybe. Get rid of the.
You keep saying injection next to the word eyes.
No.
I hate it.
This is more along the lines of altering brow line.
Ooh. Yeah, I can see where you're going with this.
Again, subtle work, quick healing time, no more than 2 weeks. If I can actually get access to some corporate nanites, healing time would be 3 days.
Oh my God, Marlo, were you like an assistant nurse or a doctor or something before you whatever it is you do?
My time under corporate yoke, we don't talk about.
Okay, not a problem. But you know what? Let's come up just in case you and I can get together, and we can come up with like sketches, okay, for our friends. Does that sound good?
Sure, we can go over fashion options as well as
Hmm.
recommendations for cyberware and plastic surgery.
Absolutely. This is so
As a
exciting.
last resort, right?
It's always good to have a plan,
It's
though.
more of a hobby now.
I'm not sure if that makes me feel better or worse about what we just discussed, but okay.
I'm gonna need something to do about these crow feet soon, so I'm glad I know a guy.
There
Uh,
is something to be said about aging gracefully. I don't know what, but there is something to be said.
Yeah, by pretending to not age at all. That's the most graceful that you can go for.
Fair enough. Have you thought about cyberization?
I'm going to lift up my shirt to show where my fake cyber liver is again.
Oh, so you want some utility, but you're not in.
Right. I have
You are
really good
adjacent
facial
to the
genes.
movement.
Yeah, my genes are fantastic. My organs were not. I damaged them.
We can talk about the latest alphaware.
Ooh, that sounds
Have you
so
thought about
exciting.
replacing your lungs?
Which one?
the sound of have you thought about replacing your lungs? Which one? Ariadne's just gonna like slide on out of the salon chair and be like, nope, walking away.
Okay, Marlo, now that she's gone, I have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
Out of the three of us who are not here, Ariande, Julie, and Xavier, who would you fuck, who would you marry, and who would you kill?
Mary Xavier, he's husband material.
He is totally husband material.
Fuck Ariadne, they'd feel very awkward about it and then probably not do anything ever again. Kill Julian. They have too much ambition.
Interesting. Very interesting. We're on the same page with Xavier. I've already
Husband
decided.
material.
Yeah, totally husband material. But also like that'd be like super hard because I can find that both like if Ari was out of her shell, like they could really really have a good time. I already know Julian would have a good time.
Don't get Ari out of their shell. Leave Ari in the shell. Leave Ari deep, deep in the shell.
Oh my God, do you think she's like dangerous? Like if they come out of the shell, like what's underneath the shell?
Ambitious, outward snipers become psychopaths. I'd rather
Ooh.
the sniper be, quiet, introspective,
So we're gonna have to kill her.
contemplative.
That's the thing. Like it's either
No,
coming
no,
out of the shell or killing her. Hmm.
no, we leave our sniper in their own little nest. Let the
Okay.
spider be the spider.
Okay.
What I love is that she legit said, "Oh my gosh, do you think she's dangerous?" When she all this time she's been working with 4 people who have blood on their hands.
I know.
Crimes.
But those are some very good insights. Thank you. At least you
Welcome.
played the games. That's
What?
it. That's all I
Why
have for.
wouldn't you play the game? It's
Huh?
one that why wouldn't you play the game? It's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing. It's how you get to know everyone around you, like how we all think of each
Precisely.
other and think like we're on. I'm just gonna give him a bro fist. We are on the same page with this. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. So the latest ones that have come out over with Harrison Armory increase oxygen mixture with the blood, so it increases actual combat performance by about 40%.
I'm sure it can increase also. Maybe I can finally start my singing career. I wrote a song one time and I got arrested when I was recording for it. So maybe like with a better lung capacity, I could finally become an actual rock star.
Oh, you can cyberize your bag.
My vocal cords. I sound fine though. It's
Yeah,
just
but
that I
you can have
need.
ones that
I just don't
automatically
breathe
adjust
very.
and auto tune.
We'll talk about this at a later
Okay.
date. Mhm.
If you want, I can bring up the latest Harrison Armory cyberization mag.
You know what? If you could just send me the magazine for me to look through, like while we're hanging out, I would love that.
Cool, we'll do.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
So what I'm getting out of this is effective enough to fool a casual observer. Uh,
If we
okay.
need more thorough, then we can start looking at scalpel and surgical theater rental.
But that is the kind of thing that would take time, certainly. And as for time, you've got about half of day one consumed. Uh, your lookalike is still living. Uh, Still, like you do have like you did actually. Nevada did schedule a date with her for
Mm-hmm.
I want to say tomorrow in game time. Additionally, I think you mentioned well, I think everybody was like mentioned wanting to start a gang war, and obviously that's certainly not happened yet. So yeah, 2.5 days left. Let's do it.
Mhm.
I think the whole idea was
Hmm.
that I was gonna not meet her at the date. Like I was gonna call. Like my impression was I was gonna call her for the date, and that's when she was gonna get killed. Like that was my impression that we were gonna go for.
That seems like a solid strat. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I
So like
guess.
I just like I stand her up and she gets killed.
Mhm.
That works.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the rapidly thinking about other ways of making this particular hit occur, because Marlowe and I think, set up the kind of like thing with night lords,
Night Lords.
yeah, sowing the seed of there potentially being beef between them and Alexandros. Either specifically finding the youngest, angriest, and scrappiest member, giving them a photo of not Ariadne, and then being like, that's the one that shot our boy. And we have good authority that she's going to be right here at this time. Is, or if we want to be hands-on, one of us could just be wearing Night Lord gear and shoot them. But that's not Julian's style. Julian would rather have a third party do it. How do we feel about getting the Night Lords involved and getting this to happen? Clearly more things would go wrong in the meta sense, but
Well, getting the Night Lords involved is the second best way to go about this without having to get our hands dirty or drawing too much attention towards us.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Would would you be able to find the Night Lord's messenger group and see if you can find someone young, scrappy, and foolish we can talk to?
I can see about hitting up the local message boards in the net.
I could shake some trees also.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a short list, Xavier, and then you can pick the target. Best thing if we're going to go this route is, egg the agent on, make sure that they're properly armed with the tech that they need. You can print something out. But there needs to be an observer just in case the mark is more effective in the scenario, or our asset all of a sudden decides to have a conscience. So either way, there needs to be a safety on this to make certain. Best thing also is to make certain that our asset dies in evasion. We do not want anything getting back.
I'm more than happy to be eyes on the scene.
How good of a shot are you, though?
I tend to pride myself on making sure I get the job done without having to use a firearm, but I do have one and can use it.
What caliber?
Julian knows this. Nathan doesn't know a goddamn thing about real guns or space guns. Julian gives you gun statistics that are said and understood, but I could not describe them to you.
Okay, so you're using a 9. Well, that's common for this part of space, as well as low rent. We definitely have a 9 printed for our asset. Make certain. Oh, I think I've got one in a drawer somewhere. Yeah, just give him this.
Why do you have that as a prop? Julian is not surprised. He's like, oh, you come fully prepared. Gosh, you're basically a multi-tool in there. She politely takes the gun from you. Although I suppose... Hold on. That should be... Sorry, Xavier should carry that gun to give to our Mark, right?
Give to the asset.
Hmm.
Mark is the target. Asset is what is going to be doing the gunning down. So yeah, just give this little toy. I can see about getting proper rounds for it.
I pull out a handkerchief and I take the gun and I wrap it up in the handkerchief and I put it in my pocket. So you want me to find one messenger and just egg them on to do it themselves?
Given the photo, given the time, the location, and hopefully they will deal with the mark. If not, I can easily see about printing out another one of those. Though the rounds are going to be different because this is going to be in case of failure. In which case, I'm going to be looking at something that is definitely going to do the job. Something nasty. Don't ask the details, that way you don't feel bad about it.
All right. And the Night Lords.
Yes.
How exactly? All right, Night Lords. How exactly are we supposed to weave them? Because we made these people up last I checked.
No, they're local, but they're small.
Okay. Small local gang.
They're part of a small Horus fanboy nanite loving collective. My people, essentially.
Okay.
But just be aware that the young idiot ones are not going to be cyberized. They're going to be trying to get that. So that's an immediate tell. If you see any outward cyberware, do not engage.
All right. Easy enough. I better go change into my work clothes. And he heads off. And you see, after a bit of time, you see him come back, and what he's wearing is it's a suit, and it's a very well cut, well designed suit. He made sure that he needed at least this kind of suit out of the replicator. There was something he needed to make sure he had, but it's a very well cut suit, like cut to him perfectly, and it just makes him look very professional. But at the same time, it looks like still looks like normal Xavier, a guy who could probably punch you down. And he pulls out a pair of black leather gloves, slips them on, and puts on a pair of shades. Okay, I'll be back shortly. I'll let you know what progress I make.
You looking like a named boss from a Yakuza game.
Pretty
I was
much, yeah.
about to say,
Yeah.
this is
Pretty
the
much.
Just brush font text.
Mhm.
Xavier appears on screen with a don don.
Exactly. It's like one of those. Yeah, definitely exactly like that moment.
Careful, I might be tempted to Majima everywhere this shit. But okay, so I assume that like is any objections to me smoothly transitioning to following Xavier here? Or
fine. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Good stuff. Yeah, Xavier, you walk out and like you start exploring the station a little bit because obviously you're not that familiar with 68369. It's not like you can just walk walk unerringly into Night Lord territory based on just intuition alone. But certainly you're more than familiar with gangs, and it's not too hard for you to like start putting a map together in your head and start realizing, oh, okay, I need to go here, need to go here, like like glancing into a couple bars, a couple stations, seeing what's being sold, like, oh, okay, yeah, this is where they would go for this, that means. And yeah, it's not too hard before like you see with a couple tags, you're definitely in Night Lord territory, but something's a little bit odd. Like when you like okay, like relative to the rest of the station, for one thing, there's the people out here are like much older than the average. Like we're talking like people like visibly in their 50s, 60s, even 70s. Uh, like fewer people out in the streets, and less of the like usual hustle and bustle, especially on like a pirate station. Like you saw like some bit like some fist fights, a couple robberies, like you saw some little petty crimes on your way in, and none of that here. Like absolutely none of it. There is no disorder. And every time you see like every Night Lord you see seems to have seen you first. And like the ones that seem to like kind of fit, the ones that like you kind of want to single out aren't single. Like they're waiting in small groups and like they seem like hypothetically like open to you approaching, but
So,
you're you feel expected.
okay. Um, I still keep that aura of confidence about me as I walk up to a group. Definitely keeping an eye out for what Marlo said, if any of them have openly out there cybernetics displaying them.
The like the most you see is in the group you're approaching. One of them has like a heart of an assault hard suit,
Mhm.
like in the sense that like literally, uh, and like presumably like recovered from somebody or recovered from somebody. So like they literally just don't have all of it. Like they're wearing it on their person along with their other accoutrement, but not
And
getting
they
deciphered.
are they displaying any kind of symbolism or gang colors that they are like, oh, we're Night Lords kind of thing?
Yeah. They're displaying what you kind of recognize to now be like more or less the outdoor standard, which is just like dark clothing, like usually like a stylized NL somewhere visible, but at the same time like fairly inconspicuous, like of the sort that if you weren't looking for it, you could ignore it, and if they wanted to conceal it, it wouldn't be hard to do.
Okay. So I walk up to this group of Night Lords, keep myself confident as I walk up to them, and I look at them, look at this group. You young men with the Night Lords?
You are, and like one of the, and like one of the bigger, like one of the, like the one with the. Okay, like let you know, there are like there's like three in the little group you in the little group you see like one like the very youngest, probably like the one who initially caught your eye is like a target, is a young woman in like her early 20s, um, who is like and another and then another like you can't eyeball their ginger at a glance, but they're somewhere in like their middle age. It's like just jacket inside piece, and then the leader with the half hard suit, who's the one who is speaking. They nod at the youngest, who like me like turns like to jog off and go do something. Like, yes, you are. The name escapes me. One of the newcomers. Yes.
Yeah, I just got here not too long ago.
Yeah.
You've only been here for such a long time. Already been noticing a lot of hustle and bustle going on about this place.
Well, the fire mark expects you. I believe he told us you had some sort of request.
It's nothing major. Just feel that the name of the Night Lord has been just speckled about recently. I figure maybe they'd like a job to kind of support the rumor mill that's been spreading around about them. You'll get your name out there.
And like he nods slowly, but it's not. It is not a that makes. It's not a that makes sense nod. It's okay. What you said was what I expected you to say. Like almost as if like again like the odd feeling that is expected. Like he nods and like I'll need you to follow me. You must this is business that will need to be discussed with the Primarch. Do not I should say this is not some sort of ambush or anything like that. Just you will you
No,
will be
don't
disarmed.
worry. Don't worry. There's nothing kind of an ambush on my end either. He holds his hands up like this. It's like, yeah, it's nothing carrying on him. And of course, like I said, I wouldn't be approaching you guys without knowing the risk of walking into your territory. I'm coming to you just with a simple job, and I'm not expecting you to ambush me either.
Of course, of course. And he turns away, and I start walking in. Like you think the vague direction. You think the like what you recognize is like about the direction that the youngest jogged off in. So like she probably going to the same place.
Okay.
And yeah, and then while you're walking, just roll me a notice check with degree of difficulty, because the thing you're trying to notice is attempting to conceal itself from your notice.
Okay.
And they are
Can I use stay cool to perform a task that requires concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure?
you're not under pressure here.
Okay.
Like that. Like you're not like they're not like they're not like staring you down. Nobody's holding a gun. Nobody's pointing guns at you or anything like that.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. It's just a straight 14 is what I got.
Okay. So yeah, you do notice like eventually like finally like as I'm sure Xavier reminds himself every so often. Yeah, it is important sometimes just look up. And yeah, you realize like on like you see on the rooftops like fairly inconspicuous enough that you could like had you not caught the glint of insignia, or like a little bit of a jacket that doesn't quite match the texture of a building. Uh, yeah, no, they're on the rooftops here, and they're not all watching you. Like this is you were not the literal center of attention. Like some of them are tracking you, like just kind of as a path, like you kind of realize oh, this is probably how they're able to like pick you up so quickly and just kind of keep track of you as you were walking through. Yeah, no, they have eyes all over their streets.
You have tight security around here.
Yes, it is. This is part of how we maintain order. Yes, always, always watching, always. Actually, we do not even have to mark our own territory anymore. The other gangs do it for us.
I see. So you take pride in the fact that all these other gangs are working underneath you.
Oh no, no, they do not mark they do not mark it on our orders.
Oh,
They I believe they do it to warn their own troublemakers. Do not tolerate disorder here.
so it's a more of put your marking up, even though they're not aligned with you, but just more of a warning sign for people who would try to start ideas.
Exactly.
Smart tactic. However, I think a group like you could benefit from what the offer I'm about to give
Yeah. Well, that is not for me to decide. Yes, the Primarch knows. He will decide. He will decide. Yes, you will be. It should you should be. You will be there in a few moments. Just through that door.
Thank you. He walks up to the door and gives it a light knock.
And you hear just like a voice from inside. Sounds kind of distant, like enter.
He opens his door and heads on inside.
Yeah, and the you see an enormous human on the other side of that door. He's currently like in the process of like disassembling a disassembling a what you think what you think like might be like some kind of like heavily altered like squad automatic or like field gun, like something big. Um, and like he looks up at, and one of the things that kind of gets you immediately is that he's doing it like while wearing a like very bulky hard suit, and like yeah, one thing about hard suits is like yeah, generally speaking, like they absolutely have like enough assistance and et cetera that yeah, you could do like tasks that require fine dexterity, yeah, usually competently, but the experience is a lot like wearing like a couple of pairs of gloves on your hands. It's not comfortable. It's not that intuitive. Like it's the kind it's when it comes to doing like really precise adjustments. Often, if you got to have a hard suit on, either you want a drone doing it, or you're gonna want to be like very careful and slow. He's not any of that. He is clearly barely paying attention to what's going on with his hands as he like looks up at you. Uh, and yes, I imagine my people introduced me as Primarch. The name is Conrad Kors. You call me whatever strikes your fancy. Uh,
Conrad, was it?
yes.
Well, Conrad, I'm just here just to, as you know, I'm here to offer your little group a job.
You are here to you have to clean up a mess. Here to Runes tell me right to believe conceal something. I don't think it is very, at least not to me. And here to start a war.
War is strong word, Conrad. It's a nasty word. You don't want to use that kind of word in the situation you're trying to create here.
Oh, I disagree.
Now, hold on,
Station.
Conrad.
This galaxy is at war.
I understand that the galaxy is at war. War is a consistency within our groups. But I would just like to. How about we look at this situation as more as eliminating things to create the necessary vacuum that you can move in and put yourself at the place that you deserve in the hierarchy of this station.
It's you see like he kind of like smiles for a second, but like he smiles in the way that somebody like really unused to smiling might smile, where it's more of a baring of teeth, like almost that almost like defaults you to like that's a threat display before like a couple of other incidental factors like tell you what he's actually like trying to accomplish there. Oh, well, the dance of the dance of words. It is, as I understand it, quite common, but it is. I do not think it is necessary here. Certainly, uh, I know why you are here. I fully intend to use you to accomplish my goals. Certainly, because this station has been too disordered for too long, and and I intend to change that. And you present an opportunity. So,
Well, then that just makes this whole conversation 10 times easier, Conrad. Now, here is here's what I would like to simple offer to you. And he pulls out the handkerchief wrapped gun, sets it on the table. This right here is something that has no serial number to it. There is no way that it can trace it back to you. This could be done to take out a target. 1, 2, 3, easy. Even the most simplistic of stick 'em up kids that you have can handle this job. Now, I don't doubt the skills of the many people that work underneath you. I know every single person that's probably working with you right now. They know what it's like there out in the street and they can get the job done. But what I think is, though, something like this, no more after this will people need to put tags up in your name as a warning sign. People will just have to walk down the street and they'll know that this area belongs to you. And they would not want to mess with anyone in there. Tags, that's the past. Name means power in these kind of game, and you know that. So with this offer that I'm offering you, your name will have some mighty power behind it.
he stops working on like the weapon he's working at. Like he picks it up, like turns it over in his hand, like turns it over in like one of his hands, and like again, like you're reminded like of just how like massive he is by like how very tiny the gun looks in his hands as he's like maneuvering it. So, the name of the target.
Oh, can you actually get the name of the target? Because I didn't write it down.
I write it down as the real question. Was I a good GM? Did I remember? I in okay, I think I didn't write. I think I didn't write her name down. So
Did
rather
I
than
think Marlo wrote it down. I think Marlo wrote it down.
Daniela of the Alexandros.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank
Daniela,
you.
thank you.
The person that we need
actually
to
wait.
take.
Let me finish. Let me
Oh, sure.
finish this sentence because yeah. The name of the target is Daniela Alexandros. Correct.
That's correct. She's someone that works with the Alexandros gang.
Yes. A fairly recent hire. Her origins not well known among the Alexandros. Not well known among the Night Lord. Frankly, not well known to me. And that is what makes her peculiarly useful. Well, normally would not make her much use as a target. It could. It could certainly just die. But
Oh no, I understand completely.
you need her because of a resemblance. Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. And I need my Cassis Stella. I need my wolf.
Hmm.
So I need that resemblance. So I will say this: the Night Lords will. You do not need to worry about trying to sell me on the idea of an assassination. You do not need to worry about selling me on the idea of an assassination. What I need from you is to make sure that when my people kill her and a few Alexandros, that everyone is aware. Your uh, do not know her name. That's not shown to me. And searching for it is probably a waste of everyone's time. Make sure that everyone is aware yours. Yeah. Yes.
That is the main purpose of this. But like you said, I have nothing from your words already. I don't need to do anything to convince you to get this job done. So, as you said, this is a deal that works both ways for us.
Yeah.
You get this job done, and we'll do our best to spread your name around.
Oh.
But before I go, Conrad, I feel like this is something you know what? No, never mind. I don't want to weigh you down with this information. I don't want to weigh you down with anything else. I'll just see myself out. And he turns to leave, leaving that little information as like a little bait hook.
I'm going to ask what seems like a very strange question, mainly because it is relevant to the way this character works. What was Xavier thinking?
He was going to mention the fact that that it is an Alexandros hitman that was involved with this, to try to fuel the fire to get this done, to make it more intense. But he's kind of like saying it in a way so that gauging if he needs to say it or not, but it doesn't seem like he does.
Okay, so when you say an Alexander hitman, do you mean the person that shot at Shrek?
Yeah.
Then okay, so what he said instead is Oh, that's no. What you are thinking, I know it is not true, and I do not intend to try and play it. I will, I will allow my people on the ground to think what they will, but it is not. That is not a subterfuge that I intend to pursue, especially since even I do not know who that was, and it doesn't do in war to act on information you do not possess.
See, this is why I like doing this business with you, Conrad. You are a guy that knows what he wants, can see through the bullshit, and get to the point. I didn't have to come here and do all my whole spiel and try to sell you over.
No, but it speaks well of you that you came. Frankly, I was perhaps concerned that it would not be you, that it would not be you who showed up, but it was.
That's just perfect.
I think
So,
that I think that mostly concludes our business. I will he flicks a finger and like you get like a little ping on your communicator, like just some contact details. Like you can I believe I should leave for the timing to you. My people will be ready.
thank you very much, Conrad. And he pulls out his communication device and he looks at what was sent to them.
It's like what seems like a quote unquote like more or less anonymous contact in the sense that you do not know who this is going to exactly. Like you don't recognize the name. It's obviously not his. But based on what he's implying, you're pretty sure that yeah, once you contact this person and give them the relevant whoever's on the other end of that and give them some relevant information, the hit will be carried out.
Thank you much. Thank you so much, Conrad. I look forward to the outcome of all this and our business dealings.
I'm sure you do.
And he turns to leave and walk out the office.
Yeah, and like he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything to stop you leaving.
And he will
Yeah.
walk back to the base.
Okay, and let's see here. Do I want? No, you want Um. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's how that goes. That took you, like in practical terms, like only a few hours. Like I wouldn't say like more than 3 or 4 in terms of the necessary walking and people finding. Uh. So yeah, you've got a contact, you've got promise, met a perhaps disconcertingly cooperative gang boss. Uh, what's next?
I think that at this point he's gonna head back to the base, but I think definitely I'm certain conversations were happening while he was doing all of this.
Yeah, so yeah, for those conversations, what were the others of y'all doing?
Julian, hi.
Julian is currently like reading by the bar and has like a mug of steaming tea. Good afternoon, Navaya. How are you doing?
Ooh, I'm good. What are you reading?
Actually, nothing especially high concept. It's just what is Julian reading?
The Hobbit.
No, I think it's probably a local culture thing. Like it's like it's probably the kind of like if there is like with there being very little physical paper, like the local kind of news rag or gossip website news,
The
and she's just
TMZ.
kind of scrolling. Yeah,
Yeah.
the kind of like if there was a TMZ for this kind of particular part of the internet, not necessarily of the galaxy, not necessarily celebrity gossip, but like all communities have a community news so people know what's going on, and we're actually pretty new to the area, so having at least a cursory read of that feels like a good idea. So she's kind of reading that, and it's nothing super interesting, unless there is something interesting that makes my eyebrows raise.
The most recent thing you'll notice is so okay, like yeah, one thing is like kind of the nature of 68369 means that uh like news is a little bit anarchic and a little bit like conspiracy leaning. So there's like a transparently like a lot of bullshit and like kind of like the tenor of the current things is like at the party with Nevi normally would be like the week's big thing. Because because 68369 is proud of the fact that they have fucking punk stars on their shit. But instead this like hella murder and like this hella irresponsible murder because goddamn you don't fire off rounds that big in a space station. Is like, and as well as the fact that like what happened speaks to like all of the observers posting like the Alexandros is covering for something, probably because the victim was revealed to have been a Night Lord living in their territory, and you're getting like a million and one different theories as to like who was responsible or why, or like are the Alexandros covering for it because they don't want, because like this is like one of the only ways they can like get back at the Night Lords. Are they weak? Like it's like there's like a million different theories going as to why they're covering it up, but everybody seems pretty sure that they are.
It seems we've seen most of the kind of news headlines firsthand, Navaya.
Is there anything about my shoes?
Actually, yes. That is, as probably you'd expect, I suppose, starting to take off in small ways. After all, if everybody started wearing them all in one go, being able to pass off Daniela as Ariadne would be a little bit harder. But at the very least, there's enough people going around with the interest.
Excellent.
Good job.
So proud of myself. Oh my
Oh,
god.
you should be. This piece of substitutes is something I definitely couldn't do. So
it's okay. You are like talented in other ways, which gives me to the point of my conversation with you. I have
of course.
I have a very important question to ask you.
Goes right ahead.
Out of the three of us that aren't here, who would you fuck, who would you marry, and who would you kill?
Julian turns to you, takes a long, slow swig of tea, and without really missing a beat, Xavier, Ariadne, Marlowe in that order.
Okay.
Is that all?
I mean, if that's all you have, I just like playing this game. It gets to help me to like know everyone.
You're not even going to ask why. Well, fair enough.
Well, if you wanted to explain why, I am willing to listen.
Oh, sure. Why not? So, Xavier, for fuck, I suppose. Men with something to prove try really hard.
I know that. It's true. It's true. Yep. Yeah.
And I look forward to a long working relationship with Ariadne. I think our skill sets match each other quite well in many ways.
Yeah, I can see that as you being like lifelong partners.
And as well for Marlowe, well, are you telling me that he isn't begging to die?
Hmm. Is that what depression looks like?
He has a lot of words to say about philosophy, but and is very casual about the way that he talks about people dying. But I know that weighs on his soul.
Yeah, but you know what? When you like really talk to him and get into something that he is interested in, like he just kind of his face just lights up. Like when you start talking about like the reconstruction of people's faces, he is really into that.
Hmm. Oh, actually, speaking of which, I wanted to ask you a question,
Oh,
Navaya.
yeah, okay.
I Well, in addition to you being, you're really talented about navigating social scenes, which I
Mhm.
find really impressive.
Thanks.
But I have noticed that in the last couple of circumstances where the discussion has gotten uh, real,
Mhm.
heavy,
Mhm.
you have a habit of maybe deflecting a little bit and moving on to the current events or fashion or your hair or Ariadne's hair, almost anything other than the heavy topic at hand.
Like give an example.
Right. This has been a couple of weeks ago, so I'm
Mhm.
going. Apologies, but the example that specifically comes to mind was right. The example that specifically comes to mind was when we were having that delightful chat with Sir Gamble Grin. I know that you know him. You don't need to remind me.
Mhm.
Um, but he was quite casually suggesting that we would commit pretty major domestic terrorism in the name of a goal that he refused to mention. And you were very keen to move the discussion on to the parties that you had with him rather than the more weighty matter at hand. And I was just wondering why.
Like the weighty matter of him like murdering like the genocide part.
I don't believe he was necessarily asking us to commit genocide, but definitely the fact that he was very willing to casually ask us to remove the internet for an entire part of the galaxy so we could roll up and shoot the president for a nebulous reward. Like that would be the easiest thing in the world for us to do without question. And that didn't seem to bother you. Or if it did
Excuse
bother
you,
you,
the reward wasn't nebulous. It was a lot of money.
Oh, it's just
I do wonder. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
like
It felt at the time it felt kind of like very non-specific about what specific thing we'd be getting. Just hey, you'll get mad stacks, and we're like, cool. That feels very non-specific for what you're asking us to do. So that's not you, Ob. That's the character that I'm mad at. But yeah,
well, it's just that like I don't need him to make money. I have made my own money my entire life. Why would I like work for him? Like he is skeezy, so why would I work for him in order just to make a lot of money? Like look at the and she like motions at the news. It's like look at what I'm doing already. I'm gonna get someone's gonna offer me some work real soon.
so it's not even the reward. So setting the reward aside, the fact that it's somebody who you knew asking you to commit again.
I mean like
I don't want to put too fine a point on this, but domestic terrorism just didn't bother you. You just took
oh
him.
oh no,
So
it
you
definitely bothered me. But
yeah.
like I mean I don't want to commit domestic terrorism. That's not what it's really bad for my brand. Like going to prison, good for my brand. Domestic terrorism, bad for my brand. Um
I can't think of anything to disagree with you there.
so I don't know, that just wasn't something I wanted to be involved in, but I didn't want to be like, oh no, we can't commit domestic terrorism in case like you guys were wanting into it, and then I guess I would have because um I don't actually have any real relationships. They're all incredibly superficial, so because we're just climbing that ladder. So I just didn't want to risk losing the four most important people to me right now.
When you say forming superficial relationships because you're climbing that ladder. Julian smiles very wide,
Mhm.
takes a sip of tea, and says, "I can't agree more." Well, it seems that we've learned a lot of things about each other in just a very short conversation. You're
I
surprisingly
know.
efficient when you want to be.
I mean, have you seen my follower account on Spacetagram? That was deleted. You know what? I wonder where all my accounts have been routed to. I'm gonna ask Marlo about that. It was
Oh,
a
actually, before you go, relating to that, we definitely want to make sure that Ariadne's embarrassing moment in a public place, with as many verbal scare quotes around that as you want to put, gains at least some kind of news attention. I wouldn't want you to go and use any accounts that could be traced back to you, because
Mhm.
I'm sure I don't need to explain why that would be complicated. But
Mhm.
if you were happened to be somewhere in the scene and nudge somebody in the ribs and be like, "Oh my God, isn't that like that one criminal?" and get them to start filming it on their phone, then
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can totally do that. I don't want to get like too close because I don't want to see like that girl's face blown up, since I did kind of lead her to her doom for no reason other than to save my other friend. But
while you are climbing that social ladder, after all,
I could
sometimes there are
be
bodies left in your wake.
sure.
And actually, she laughs like that immediately. She laughs like that, then kind of pats you, actually quite hard, on the shoulder, and
Ah,
says, "I can have fun sometimes too. Don't worry."
this is why you're always on my fuck list.
She takes another slow, long sip of tea.
Anyway, thank
Meanwhile,
you. I will see you later.
Yes, that
I
did feel like the
have
end of the conversation,
it
didn't it?
did.
I'll see you soon.
Bye, have a good one. Just leave.
Julian smoothly turns back to her data slate and continues scrolling through the local news, very pleased with herself.
Also very pleased with myself.
Yeah, I think we both left that scene feeling like we got away with a lot.
Yeah, like whatever the two of us were intending in that scene with that conversation, we both got it, and we both know that we got it. Like
Absolutely, that was juicy as fuck.
I
Hell yeah.
love it. Yep. And with that, I have to go to the bathroom again. So continue without Nevaeh.
It's all good. See
yeah.
you soon.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Marlowe shows up at Ariadne's quarters with wearing a measuring tape around his neck and a bunch of pins in his mouth. Ariadne,
Oh, I was actually just on my way to the hangar for a little bit. What's up? Wow, that's a lot of tailoring equipment.
uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Just let's get this over with, because I've got to make sure that I get that second coat on so that they have time for it to dry. And just come in.
Okay. We have to make you a new you. So part of that is wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
What did you used to wear?
Uh,
What was your fashion footprint, as it were?
non-existent, honestly.
Jumpsuits, tactical wear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all my fancy stuff was literally designed to do camouflage and invisibility. So,
Well, you can still do some of that, but the thing is, your public face needs to change. So while you're out, you need to look different, walk different, act a little different. The acting part, well, you should probably talk to either Xavier or Julian. But the look part, I can help with. So, if you don't mind holding still, arm, please. As he takes an arm, starts measuring. So, most of your wear was provided by your crew. Did you purchase it yourself?
No, crew provided actually. Just,
Okay.
I guess, part of our operations budget.
Do you want something more form-fitting or loose?
Um, loose, probably.
Okay. Again, just without thought is just manhandling you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anna, the player, has been through this before doing costuming and stuff like that. So she's like, yeah, wherever you need the limbs positioned
Yeah.
is where I'm like puppeting myself about.
Okay.
Something with lots of pockets. They're very important.
Lots of pockets. Okay. And
But like
loose fitting.
discrete pockets.
Okay. How do you feel about jackets?
Jackets are good. They keep you warm.
Okay. How much skin do you want to show versus not show?
Considering my fancy stuff makes me turn invisible, let's err on the side of not show.
Okay. Loose fitting. We can work with this.
How did you learn how to do all this anyway?
Well, in a previous life, I was a personal assistant. You learn many very varied skills. And part of it's fashion. So now comes the uncomfortable part. Who in your previous life have you hit? I need names.
Have I what?
Hit.
Oh, that was just me not hearing you.
You've left a wake of devastation. And while I am fairly certain that your associate probably fucked up in a very specific way while you were in the clink, and that's what happened to him, I need to know who might hunt you, who might actually dig into your death, should this go well, who will actually try and find out if you're really dead.
Mech Master, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, like in character and out, the only person that would come to try and potentially find that out is Hiro Tanaka. Is there anybody else that?
Of the other people on your crew, and for names of them, we might have to just like get together after the session if you want all of them to be relevant. But based on what you heard from Trey, and as far as like he seemed to be like telling the truth as he knew it, Hero is the only one who isn't either dead, jailed, or states evidence.
Yes, that's what I have as well.
Okay.
Which has me worried because now with our dear little friend gone, but no, as far as I know, there's nobody else who knows.
Okay. That is going to be as he just like looks you up and down. Well, hopefully with this bit of mess, we can tie up the loose end. I have a feeling your associate might not take the bait.
I'm a little worried about that myself.
Well, we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, I'm guessing do some sort of urban couture with puffier pants, lots of pockets, half jacket, some comfy t-shirts, something loud that'll match with this. Well, take me about a day to get you a week's worth of outfits.
Well, whatever you say, you're the expert.
Not necessarily an expert, more of a hobbyist. With that, he leaves.
Ariadne is gonna head on over to the hangar to continue the process of the custom paint job on Baba Yaga, which is the mech, like when it started out, was kind of these different shades of blue and white, but in an effort to try and make this a little bit more discreet and subtle and match with the new license skills that I've acquired, of going for more of a like a dark navy chrome kind of thing, but with a more rough matte finish on it so that it doesn't catch and reflect light quite so much. So on purpose, there's some, like this one all the same color, but it's sort of not dinged up, but textured, on purpose so that it isn't going to immediately catch light and interfere with some of the other modifications that we're installing here. So that's what she'll be working on.
Okay. It sounds. Whoop, Marla?
Heading back to Marlowe's little neck of the woods. On an open screen, there's sounds of typing and just Hiro Tanaka. Is he tied to SSC? If so, how? Who does he work for? Who are his associates? Ties to corporations. Somehow tied to Gamble Grin? Question mark. How expensive is getting him gone? And with that, he closes the screen.
All right. And with that, we cut to a little bit. I'm passing. Everybody sees to some of their personal preparations, and I believe we're coming up on the eve of an execution. Uh, so, uh, Daniela is waiting.
Yep.
What happens next?
I I will was I so I might have had to talk to Xavier about this, but did I get any was there a specific location that the Night Lords wanted Daniela to be at for me to send her that way?
No, there was not. Like as in fact, like as
Mm-hmm.
what he did, what Conrad did not say, but very strongly implied was it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter where, and it doesn't
Gotcha.
matter when.
Yeah.
Once you call us in, we'll get it done.
I pretty much, like, I would definitely have, like, when I arrived, I would have definitely filled them in on
Mm-hmm.
everything from it, especially the fact that Conrad 100% was aware of the fake evidence.
Mm.
How big did you say this guy was?
Uh, I didn't say this originally, but since it's obviously Xavier saw him, uh like to Xavier's eyes, he looked like like somewhere around like 7 feet tall, and for those of yes who uh who don't use freedom units that's over 2 meters, like a absolute like the absolutely humongous human being.
That's room for a lot of cyberware.
Oh no,
That's tremendous.
the man looked like he has. Heck, I would maybe even on the same level as you, Marlo. I wouldn't be surprised if that's deep how it goes. The guy also knew everything that was going on.
I have a really bad feeling that we're just exchanging one loose end for another much worse loose end that's going to make the entire thing unravel.
Honestly, I really feel that way also.
Like, no disrespect to you, Xavier. I mean, you're a professional. I'm sure that you did everything, the right way, but I don't like this.
I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you 100%.
You might want to poke Smokey. See what him and his boys and his contacts know about our big fella. If they know anything at all. I've got a sneaking suspicion with him being that size, and you said that cyber. He's hiding out here near the rim. He might
Pirate.
actually be dealing with an android.
A pirate
What, straight
android?
up, you mean?
Somebody who has more than 90% cyber.
That's what I was afraid of.
Okay. Fun. I need to get in contact with somebody from Horus, which is going to suck.
Julian has remained relatively quiet throughout this conversation, and then after a while kind of like turns round in her bar stool chair and sighs heavily, like, I suppose it was sensible to go through the official channels when doing this kind of thing. So there were no missteps made on your part, Xavier, but it is this feels a lot. I suppose in my head I had pictured us chatting to an upstart teen that would make poor decisions without reporting in.
Oh no, this is the total opposite of that. I was honestly surprised that I thought it was going to be a bunch of punk kids also.
Yeah, the fact that they're this organized now makes me wonder, actually, what really is the balance of power on Station 68369.
I'll tell you what he said to me.
Mhm.
Other gangs put up the Night Lord symbol, not out of loyalty, but as a red flag.
Have we been had? How important are the Alexandros actually here?
They're the public face.
So let me get the facts straight for just a second. I need to recalculate. So we've been asked, but without specificity just yet, that we need to go and take the Alexandros down a few pegs in a major way, one that will probably involve the use of our mechs.
Yes.
The Alexandros are the public face of this particular station, but it seems that somebody who's running the real intelligence network, at the very least, are the Night Lords.
Mm-hmm.
Sure seems that way.
Did Conrad seem to acknowledge that you were already given a task surplus to the one you addressed them with?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, DM. He very much seemed that he knew everything of why I was there, right? That's definitely the vibe I got from this guy.
To give a very particular clue, it seemed like he knew what you were going to say before you were going to say it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I almost
like he was psychic.
Oh, I definitely relay that. Honestly, then this is going to sound very odd. It was almost as if he knew everything I was about to say. Not just not that he could read my body language. He knew my intent.
That is concerning.
I need to ask a very specific question. Did you see any actual cyberware on him?
No. Just saw that he was a very, very big individual.
And he was
BioWare.
You also saw you also like he was wearing a full hard suit at the time. It's certainly possible that he might have whatever he had was just not immediately visible underneath the giant suit of armor.
Right. Now, let me ask you this at the risk of sounding completely ignorant because I know nothing about the way cybernetics works, but Marlowe does. I'm guessing that this kind of mind-to-mind communication stuff is not just highly regulated and illegal, but very, very, very universe-destroyingly bad.
I can answer that question. Well, there's part of it. There's a different additional answer to it. So, mild galactic history lesson. Ursinia. It's one of the only planets in the galaxy that was actually like found to have like even modestly intelligent native life before humans got there. And one of the things that like kind of happened on Ursinia was that people who spent long enough there had their awarenesses expanded, and like it's been like a few decades since like kind of the phenomenon has started to be noted. It's still very much studied, but there are definitely people out there with what might be called extrasensory perception. Not unheard of. Not common knowledge. It is perfectly normal for given characters to not know it, or who have never run into it, or to even just not believe it.
This is just nutty.
Well, I assume like in universe either I suppose Marlowe explains that back if Marlowe already knew.
Marlowe's explanation. Okay, so there's three sort of gimmies here. One, he actually is heavily cyberized, alpha class hacker, able to get anywhere without leaving a trace. It's explanation one. Two, he's one of the folks from Presidium might actually have some sort of extrasensory perception, because that's a report that came out. And then he might be some gene rat, somebody who was tied to a corp, had their bits and bobs at a genetic level spliced, souped up, etc., etc., which might give any number of bizarre traits. BioWare is bleeding edge, and only a handful of corps have the money to do that shit.
Well,
so fun.
This might actually be something of a boon, because if they do not have extrasensory psychic hand gesture powers, then that would suggest that their information network was strong enough to know about that fine detail of subterfuge you were doing, Xavier. And that is information that we kept very, very closely to ourselves. If they knew that without being psychic, then that means that they know everything that we were going to do. And this entire job is some kind of larger puppet game. And considering we're going to be getting our mechs involved, that's a very dangerous puppet game that they let you walk away from if you were going to see them in person. If they are, however, psychic, same gesture as before. Julian accepts that this is a thing that exists, but is also so absurd that she's still kind of like that. This is maybe also a lie, though. Although I know it's real, you know. When you hear
Julian would disbelieve it out of existence if she thought she could, and she's not sure she can't.
When you hear like a stranger than fiction style fact, and you're like, well, clearly I have seen the evidence that means that this is true, but also, nah, though, is the kind of emotional roller coaster she's going
through. Ariadne's got the same reaction to that, like, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's definitely where Xavier's at. He's like, but come on.
Yeah. If he is psychic, then that means the only information that he gleaned from you was the information you had at the forefront of your mind while you were there. The rest of what we're doing hasn't been jeopardized, and we are not fucked just yet.
I will say, though, that it's safe to assume that this is who we're working for from here on out, because if they have this little level of insight into the current plan, they must know more than we think that they know. Does that make sense? Like, they have to know more because they have to understand why we're going after this and be okay with us succeeding at it to an extent because they want something from us.
Who even knows whether... Sorry, go ahead.
Ariadne makes an excellent point. Why did they just let us... If I was in the same situation as him and someone just came into my office explaining they had the deal of century for me, and I knew exactly their full intent, and if I didn't have any ulterior motive, I would have killed them right there on the spot.
Well, who knows how deep that mind reading goes. There's a difference between, in a game of poker, being able to know somebody else's cards and being able to know their cards and their game plan.
Exactly.
I'm choosing to believe, just for the sake that I don't have a stress attack, that the only information that has been gleaned so far is specifically that the lie that you were going to tell them was false. If they know more than that, then this mission is already jeopardized and we should run, but I have a feeling that we are already in too deep to kind of set this plan back now. After all, Daniela is expecting a date of some kind of
Yeah, we're supposed to be meeting at this pop-up concert that I've been spreading rumors that was going to happen. So there's going to be a big crowd of people for her to get murdered in and for me and Xavier to get lost in, because Xavier is already publicly been seen as my bodyguard, so he has to be there.
Okay. So
well, at the very least, if... So go ahead.
The assassination's going to go off. Mm-hmm. Just post-assassination, we need to get things sorted out. 1, what do the Redfins really fucking want? 2, how much do the Redfins know about the Night Lords? 3, who the fuck is Conrad tied to? And then 4, what's the nearest station here from here so we can get the fuck out of Dodge? Also, has anyone checked on the captain? He was acting weird a little while ago.
The captain?
That's not normally how they look.
Yeah. If you wanna check on the captain, he's not too difficult to find. You see him, like, he's in the lounge eating lunch. Then you hear another, like kind of like the same, like, sort of like right at the edge of your hearing noise that you heard the first time you did something weird, and then like he keeps eating. You hear it again, and he looks up, and like he seems like, I need to check the power couplings, and he picks up, like, takes his food with him, like, as he's going to go, presumably like check on that thing.
Seems pretty fine. Look, let's just focus right now what we need to do. We have this whole assassination process that's about to go down. That's going to happen no matter what. There is no backing out of this. Though we do have one possibility. Yes, this person obviously now has stuff over us. They will probably use us to their benefit. However, we are now an asset to them. And people like him, they like to protect their assets. So, yes, there's a high possibility that we may not walk out of this alive. But there's also a high possibility that this guy is going to protect us, his asset. It's a gamble I'm willing to take. How are the rest of you with that?
I would rather leave this station in the pocket of a murderous giant than, completely naked, exposed, vulnerable, and under our own powers. If we try to just get out of here by ourselves under our own powers, we already have a mind-reading potential android. And Ariadne is still sort of like stage whispering that, even though we're in our own space, like that's the extent to which this is kind of freaking them out. It's just like we already have an extraordinarily powerful entity that, while it may not actively wish us harm, only has interest in keeping us alive and well as far as it aligns with their own interests. So I would rather leave in the pocket of that thing than get squashed like a bug on the way out. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Especially because I'm losing it, staying here and not being able to do anything.
Oh, I understand, Ariad. But right now we have no resources.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only way we can get resources. So, as I said, take a vote on this. Do we continue with this or not?
Well, my code sign is Gambler for a reason.
Avia?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Julian looks at the with the tone of the conversation having gotten heavy again. Julian is specifically paying attention to what Nevaeh says. And that, like, sure, Julian's like, oh, okay.
I mean, I am just sort of here waiting for everyone to tell me what to do. Like, the pop-up concert is already happening. And here's the thing. I didn't say who was going to be playing at the concert. Just that it was going to happen. So somebody with a musical instrument will probably show up anyway to be like, make money. So should I call the space Uber to go pick up my date?
Yes, it's assassination time. Everyone,
You
get
might
your
as well
best
get
on.
them the luxury ride.
I can't afford that right now. Well, actually, and she's gonna like look at her like her ad account so far. Like she's already set up like a new like PayPal or whatever to a new social media account. I can get it. It's fine.
Okay, so just so we're clear, you're spending your AdSense money from your sock puppet influencer account to buy an Uber XL for our assassination target.
Yeah, but they already know we're supposed to be going out on a date.
Cool. I just wanted to say it all together and watch this beautiful plan form into a bizarre structure of something that just might work.
Listen, if somebody got you an Uber XL, what would you think they were going to murder you? No, of course not.
Well, now I would. Now I'd be
most-
immediately suspicious. I'm just like, but why did they do that though?
Outrageous. Crazy.
Yeah, I will text Daniela to that the Uber XL will be out there in an hour, and I will meet her at the concert. Please enjoy the special champagne that I am also leaving in there for her to the fullest. And Nevaeh does plan on being in the crowd there because I don't even want to pretend it's like I stood her up. It's that I never found her in the crowd kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
And
you're
then
gonna
yeah.
All right.
You two are on your way. Xavier and Nevaeh, I assume, yes?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like Xavier is definitely going with Navia.
Okay. So and then just real quick, Julian, Marlo, Ariadne, are you going to be doing anything like relevant, like in relevance to this? Like, are you going to be like in the crowd, like watching anywhere? Like,
Yeah, Julian is
Yeah.
definitely going to be on the scene with Prosso collar up in a generic, because there needs to be additional eyes on the scene, looking basically kind of, in a literal sense, watching the Vi and Xavier's backs. And in the event that apparently the shot misses, Marlo has suggested that I try and take the shot instead, which can be done. I would rather not, but it can be done.
So
I kind of need to stay as far away from this area as possible. So pretty much I have the smash the big red button emergency exit. We need to get in the robot and get out fast plan set up for everyone.
And Marlowe's in his hard suit, ready to either get into the mech or quickly try and get to wherever location to exfiltrate this
Yep,
team.
same. As the last resort.
Oh, I should probably. I just realized that there is probably an additional failsafe that I can specifically do with my mech, because it has an AI on board that I can tell to do things.
sure.
So this station area that we're on, I assume what are the kind of like outskirts of this place like? I want to find somewhere that, you know, what would be in a regular like Earth city, like the warehouse district or the docks, and station Jackpot nearby there in cloaked mode.
Okay. So yeah, that means you're gonna be looking for somewhere like actually properly abandoned. Let's
Yeah, like to kind of go through the full thoughts, you can tell me where the most appropriate for that is. Also, gotcha. To basically station somewhere in cloaked mode, and if it turns out that everything is now going incredibly downhill while in cloaked mode, Jackpot slices through something and makes an empty warehouse building fall over, creating a big ass noise, and everybody's like, what was that? And then there will be at least some kind of distraction. So we can a bigger problem going on elsewhere, so we need to get so we can get the fuck out if need be, wherever like out of the way that we can do that in.
okay. So what I will say is that actually is going to be a die roll to make sure that you can get the mech there in position
hell yeah.
without like attracting what's that we've got to attract like what's that attention, because like in station mechs are like ultra super hyper crazy rare, partly because like, you know, like of the general spacer, you know, don't want big stompy thing around where it might reach something important. And also it is generally kind of like part of the detente that everybody keeps, is like, you know, yeah, don't move too much big hardware all at once, you know, might make people think that you're looking to do something unpleasant. Kind of
Okay. That's an important detail, because then if even the sight of this thing would be a direct failure to mission, then that is just unnecessarily making a risk. So I might want to step back from that. If
that, but it would certainly put people's guards up.
No, that the additional information is important, and will probably color my decision on that. In that case, I will step back from that idea then, because there's no point adding in something else that would specifically kind of make our lives harder. If there are no mechs seen around, to then put a mech there would be a bad idea. So I will step away from that idea. Thank you for clarifying. But yeah, in that case, yeah, the only thing that Julian will do then is kind of make sure that she is on the scene with a generic guise up to keep an eye on everybody.
So yeah, Nevada and Xavier, you head out. You know, you arrive like, you know, kind of like what I'll say is like, you know, on your proverbial timetable, like you see like a good number of people like milling about. See like it actually seems like as you get there, like yeah, it's kind of like an like actual kind of like kind of a guerrilla music festival has like started up and going. Like everything seems pretty popping, pretty good. And it's just like good vibe, good place. Like, a little like more than a little bit raucous, but that's raucous is good. Raucous is normal. Um, and like okay, like before like stuff like capital T stuff starts happening. Like yeah, like chit chat amongst yourself, like talk a little bit, like how's things going?
This is like really intense, isn't it, Xavier?
Yeah, it is pretty intense.
You know what would help elevate this just a little bit?
What would help you out?
I need you to play a game with me.
Sure.
Out
Yeah.
of the three of us who aren't here, who would you fuck, marry, or kill? And kill. Like, between Marlo, Ari, and Julian.
I kill Marla because he poses too much of a threat to anything I would ever do. Long and short project. I mean, the man is an obvious hacking technical genius. I would marry Julian because our combined skills alone, we could easily take over any kind of low town and turn it into a sprawling utopia of a city that looks out for the downtrodden while also keeping out any riffraffs. And I would fuck Ariadne because she just seems like a good life.
I mean, I think all of you would be good lays, but yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. The intensity has dissolved now. A little bit. Thank you.
Glad I could help. And you seem to smirk a bit.
Like, she just does that little thank you. Cool. Let's go get a beer.
You got immediately. Wow.
I just Gabriel just stands there like, I got caught, didn't I?
Yeah.
Mission complete. And achievements unlocked SNK full party.
We have exhausted all of the dialogue options for this particular set of skills. I feel like if Ariadne knew that you were having this conversation with everyone, she would absolutely revise her estimation that you are the least dangerous person, because she's just like, what does it mean though? Why does she want to know?
Here's the thing, at some point it will be revealed through all four of you that Nevaeh has had this conversation with all of you. So like but yeah. And I assume I know where the Uber XL is dropping off Daniela. And one of the things I probably would have done is given Julian that location so that if something goes wrong, you have her tail.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you're going to get your drinks. A little bit overpriced, but like this is like it is overpriced, appropriate to a concert venue. So,
do you
like,
think
whether
she's
you find
paying
it
for drinks? She's not paying for drinks. Someone bought her those beers.
LOL. But like yeah, you can the amount of mana changing hands, like yeah, you feel like these are kind of bullshit price, but it's concert bullshit price, so it's fine. It's fine, and yeah, like as you're getting your drinks, you don't quite have like an eye from where you two are standing, but you do like get the notification, like and also her text that like yeah, Uber XL's arrived. Julian, like based on where your positioning is, like yeah, crowd's a little bit thick, so you're not like 100% unobstructed line of sight, but you can clearly see like the hover, like the slightly unusually nice hover car pulling in. Like you see Daniela like dressed up, getting out, like like walks away, like I think you see your throat hit back, and then like as she like begins to like walk away and start like looking around for Nevaeh, you also see somebody else like dive in, carjack the driver, and then like heal out. Uh, but yeah, targets arrived.
Okay.
What you do?
I
You
would
do
like to make a roll while we're in the crowd, if that is okay.
okay.
To start sowing the seeds of what this be, Julian stands within it because it's crowded, standing facing away from some people that feel, having now known Nevaeh for a handful of days, that feel like the biggest internet gossips, standing within earshot of all of them but faced away. And when this kind of car arrives, goes kind of like, oh my God, isn't that like somebody from Alexandros? And I didn't know that she went to prison. Like, look at those shoes.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Fucking Sanders who knows anybody in that gang anyway. But yeah, she does look kind of like. No wonder they snapped her up. Is she like one of those like one of the ones from the break? Well, that prison break? Yeah, is that her?
I mean, if she's into prison chic that much, she must have been behind bars for like so long or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you do got the fucking shoes, oh my god, original.
I mean, like, if you get the scoop, if you can put this on like space Instagram or whatever, like you would get mad that my phone's totally out of battery. She like genuinely pulls a phone and waves it just long enough to make it clear that she's holding a phone and then puts it back in. I'm like totally out of battery. Otherwise, I would be getting the biggest scoop. But like
I fucking
something
got
needs
you.
to let the people know, girl.
I fucking got you. Do not worry. And like, yeah, like you see her like get their shot out, like start like taking pictures, like sitting in front, like you see like kind of like as like the news like begins like kind of like organic like internet organically spread, like a few people like turning over, somebody like engaged in conversation.
Mhm.
And like you, I assume like you had like some kind of signal like for the
Yeah, I suppose in the nature of letting everybody know, being kind of like things are set, eyes out. Also, before thing occurs, I really like just want to put out there. I really like the idea that everybody's staring at her suddenly because that's creepy as hell.
and um like all of you that well okay not all of you that are present Xavier specifically, you get like a like an invitation to a video call, and like assuming that you start playing it, um, what you see first is like somebody like on what is clearly like must be like a stabilized view, like it's like decent quality. It's not like shaking, despite the fact that they're on top of some kind of building, looking like directly down, and like you like and like maybe like on a whim because you actually like recognize wait you know what building that is you look away from your screen to look up in time to see a like you think you see like five silhouettes like in the sky, and then then like a lot and then there's a lot like of gunfire, a lot of screaming, like all, and it's all like very precise, like relative to like it's sort of like a it's also like very that like Daniela is you're very sure like possibly probably before she really even knew what was happening beyond beyond why am I so popular right now, she was gone.
Mhm.
Um, and despite how crowded it is, nobody like beyond maybe like a cut or bruise. Nobody else has been hurt. And no civilians have been hurt. Because those weren't the only shots. And like obviously the Alexandros, like this is their station, this kind of event, they'd be out in force for it. And like you don't see them anymore. But based on like the chaos, like the way like because everybody is panicking. What with the fact that like this is a shooting now. Um, like everywhere you could see where like or like in Alexandros gang member is their body. And you see like night lords like appearing like almost like they were almost like they were always there because maybe they always were, and some of them are like literally like appearing like stealth tech coming apart, like people peeking over buildings, people like coming out through doorways, people like flipping their jackets and then like and pulling out concealed weapons, like and they're like it, I don't know if you're staying I don't know like how long you're staying to watch, so I'll just keep talking. Tell me like like just like interrupt where you feel important, like to note that like you have tried, like you are trying to get away or are getting away. But
Yeah.
like
I think at the very least, when the initial crowd that Julian sowed that rumor moves naturally with that crowd when it starts to part, and it turns back and is trying to see, while making out the scene, is in that eye line trying to see where Nevaeh and Xavier are.
I will say that's going to be a roll to spot them with an additional degree of difficulty added. Additional size difficulty added because lots of people, and and of course, like the natural human eye for danger keeps drawing you towards that guy's got to get, like you're being distracted not only by all these people but also the fact all the people who keep pulling out guns and shooting them.
What I would like to do, though, because of the video that I received pointing out those 5 silhouettes, if I pass that information on to Julian, would that improve their role?
I'm gonna say yes because it would help Julian place.
Okay, go ahead.
So I would have sent you as soon as I got that video, like as soon as I got that video call, and I saw there were 5 silhouettes, I would not even have like hesitated. It would have been right off the bat. I would have contacted you all over the comm saying there are 5 silhouettes on the roof. It's about to go down now. Like I would not have like waited. I would have given them all like the high sign, like it's about to go down. Be ready.
Sure. I would like to, because I believe we've established that we can use more than one skill. Use read a situation, because this is very specifically about interpreting the body language of the people in the environment. And stay cool, because there's gunfire going on and I need to make sure I am keeping my shit together in order to kind of get this particular detail spotted, if those two are all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So the advantage that I am getting from Xavier cancels out the difficulty from the chaos. And my stay cool and read a situation scores are at in total +6, +2 from stay cool,
and
+4
don't
from read a
forget
situation.
grit for being.
Oh, I have +1 for grit. Yes, the tiniest one can sometimes matter. So I'm rolling 1d20 +7 in total. Good bit. 12, which is over 10. No failures today.
It do be. So yeah, like you look through the crowd, you absolutely do keep some mental track on all them shooters, because wouldn't do to take a stray bullet. But yeah, eventually like you do finally like see Raya and Xavier like over near like what definitely used to be kind of like where everybody was selling alcohol. those guys fucking booked. Uh,
Yeah,
when
I think on
yeah,
the
they're
egress, because we have the information about like shooters and stuff, and Julian is no interest in people who aren't part of the job getting killed. She's like, "Oh my god, in the alleyway to the left," and kind of steering them out of open space to be shot. But upon seeing that Xavier and Nevaeh are not perforated, kind of like ducks down, hat low, collar up. We flee in the scene. We out.
Oh yeah,
bet.
Nevaeh's using Xavier to like he's a
Oh yeah.
large man.
Oh yeah. Xavier has been in
Yeah.
situations like this plenty of
Yeah.
times and takes advantage of it that he instantly, like as soon as those shots go off, Nevaeh just feels Xavier grab her and just start walking in like a protective, like bodyguard kind of way.
Okay,
Thanks.
and
Let's get the fuck out of here.
That's the
yeah, so
plan.
yeah, you do, and what I will say is like you see like kind of like one of like the last things you see as like all of you are getting away is like yeah a humongous giant of a man like they like jetpack in from like probably like a few blocks over like in like a big arc. They touch down in like what on what used to be a concert stage, like now like cleared out and as like they're like kind of like rounding up like those civilians who like didn't like manage to like get out on their own time and like you might even notice like actually applying first aid to some of the people who did like take hits. Um, you like yeah you see like man who Xavier you definitely recognize as Conrad and who like everybody else can probably strongly infer is that guy like in this time full uh in full armor like sit down like he clearly like looks like towards all of you as you like all of you as you're running away and like doesn't nod but if you look back making eye contact.
I stage whisper like just keep walking.
And then like then like you see like him and all the other Night Lords and like and then like they like and then like turn and like he turns away and that's yeah and that's the end of that scene.
Oh, a quick thing.
Mhm.
Ariadne, what is your call sign? In the same way that Julian's call sign is gambler, what is Ariadne's call sign?
Her call sign's witch.
Fantastic. Wherever you are at base, you get an email from Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that shows up on screen as well.
Amazing.
I like it.
I love that.
Happy Death Day. Oh, I love.
Smiley face.
Yeah, and on a happy Death Day, I think we're going to call this session of Shades of Tartarus.
Snaps. Nice.
Next
Hell
time.
yeah.
Next time, y'all gonna have some work to do. Y'all gonna have some work to do.
Indeed.
Hope them robots is ready. So yeah, that was the session. Thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you everybody for playing. Val, I do believe we have some sign-offs in order.
Yeah. So again, thank you everyone for coming and showing up. It was great. I was after missing a couple weeks was needing this game in this group. Y'all are amazing. As far as the rest of the week goes, you can see the last game of the week is tomorrow, which is In Darkness Unbroken, our Dragon Age TTRPG actual play. The next time you can see my face on the internet after that will be Monday over Weave the Tale for the Great American Witch. And then we start up again, hopefully with our regular schedule again on Wednesdays with Dragonstone and doing this all over again, y'all. So, yeah, opposite direction. So, Pope, if you want to go after me, go ahead, fam.
Yeah. Hey everybody, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. So good to be back with my Lancer fam. But if you want to see more of this ridiculous face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Every other Sunday, so not this Sunday, you can catch me and Wally over on Matev 7's channel, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Mask Sunset City. Volume 2 just kicked off, and it's a bumpy ride, ladies and gentlemen. You're definitely going to want to catch what's going on there. Then Wednesday is the doubleheader. As first, you can catch me over on Follow Black Cats, where I play my second most awful human being, Sherlock, in Hexcrawl, the spy game. And then I get to torment people over on Penny for a Tale at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as we're starting to get into Act 2 of Brotherhood of Shadows, a Song of Ice and Fire tale. There were 10. Now there are 6, and only 2 of them are really able-bodied. So we'll see what terrors await them beyond the wall. They've got 3 days to get ready to have to kill a monster on sea. So, drowning's a fun thing.
Ah.
Catch you all later.
Woo! Boy. Well, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132, WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot. Oh boy. Today's been stressful today, y'all. This was a very tense game today. Giant sidekicks. That's like the worst combination of two things, of two words, giant and psychic. So that's horrifying. Yeah, every Monday you can catch me over at Connomicon playing me some Ace State with this wonderful person right above me on the screen. We're playing some Ace State. We are a group of ragtag searchers, troublemakers, and just good people trying to make the world a better place. We're going into a sink pit, so let's see what happens when we go into there. Then on Wednesday, you can see me playing once again. This person right above me again. Over at Weave Tail playing me some Black Void at 7 p.m. Oh man. Oh boy, last episode was a psychedelic romp of a hey, do you like these things? Well, we're gonna use them against you. That's basically the best way to describe it. It was tons of emotional crying was had that episode, and I can't wait for the next one. Then over on Thursday, you can not Thursday, but Friday, you can find me back here at playing some Lancer at 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 p.m. 11 a.m. not Eastern. Yeah, I got that right.
PST.
But once again, with this person right above me. So that's 3 games. I am with this person. And then every other Sunday, you can cast me with this fine fellow right below me playing some Sunset City. Oh, man. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a game. Come check it out, y'all. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated.
3 very good things. It's always...
Uh-oh.
It's been happening to me all
There
day.
we go.
I understand.
There you go.
There we go.
There we
Hiya.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, we did it.
Okay, so it's me next. I was gonna say it's always fun doing intros right after Wally because we're in literally like more than half of each other's games together. So I'm just like, oh, we just have each other's schedules memorized at this point. But hi, I'm Anna. You can find me at Emeria941 pretty much everywhere on the internet. When I'm not playing Lancer here on Friday, Friday's actually my double header day. So you can catch me later tonight over on Critical Misses for our penultimate episode of Beyond the Twilight Road. Some dark fantasy fae bullshit that is rapidly drawing to what I can only assume is going to be a bloody, catastrophic end. It's going to be a great time. Hearts will probably be broken. And yeah, that's going to be tonight on Critical Misses. On Monday, like Wally said, we both play in A-State on Colonomicon's Twitch channel. I like how you said that we were all nice people trying to do good in the world, because really it's just 3 nice people and 1 very ethical murderer.
Penn,
Played by
Penn,
me. So.
First of all, Penn is a criminal mastermind, so.
I know, but he's a cinnamon roll criminal mastermind. Like, you use your powers to take pudding cups to eat them because you like sugar. And meanwhile, my character is just like slitting people's throats on a Monday. That's just how you do. Somebody's got to keep them all alive, and the task falls to me. On Wednesday, yeah, we're both in Black Void over on Weave the Tale. Super awesome, fantastic game. And then on Thursday, I GM a game of Parslings over on Weave the Tale, which is a game that's a deck building TTRPG about people that have sentient word parasites living inside of them. It's only been 2 episodes, and we somehow managed to make it even weirder than that pitch already sounds. We've got a ska band, we've got origami city blocks folding in on themselves, and weird void tentacle cats, and all sorts of really cool things. So definitely check that out on Weave the Tale. And that is me.
Hello, once again, I'm your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. Thank you so much for having me on this channel once again. You will be able to see me in general on the Neon Caster Twitch channel, where we do a variety of both tabletop RPGs, playing cyberpunk and urban fantasy games as media texts, and actually relatively recently a segment we're doing quite often is playing through fighting games and beat-em-ups. Because they're a genre I really like. In fact, we will be playing through Dungeons & Dragons Shadows of Mystara, so it's still technically tabletop related. I can talk about it on this stream, shut up.
It's a really fun game too.
Yeah, we're going to be playing it through it tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT, which is 2 p.m. EST, I believe. Time is weird. Yeah, that's going to be kind of fun. We're actually playing that full with full 4 players, so that's going to be sick. In addition to that, I have my next big tabletop RPG project in progress. Our last one, the campaign of Arcana Core, Persona inspired, very good. It concluded 2 weeks ago. I'm still reeling, but we are going to be doing a one-shot in the system called Net Battlers, which is designed to evoke the kind of gaming experiences for the Mega Man Battle Network series of video games. Yeah, I know, right? We're actually currently doing casting for it. Because I like to do open casting with my one-shots. You can find information on that on my Twitter at PhantomArtsEnt, which is probably already in the Twitch doobly-doo. So go there and then have a look. We are going to be announcing our cast on Monday the 1st. So you still have time to get in your application if you would like to be part of a retro future vaporwave thing where we explore a mall after dark to uncover some spooky mysteries. That's me.
Cool.
And I remember to unmute myself. And finally, it's your boy, your mech master, your Obadiah. If you want to find me on Twitter, come reach out at Johnson Dyson, or while I have yet to end my dormancy, perhaps you just might find me streaming some Devil May Cry 5 on twitch.tv/Kenobi one of these fine afternoons or evenings. But if you absolutely can't get enough and need to find me again, stick around on this channel, because on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time or thereabouts, I play Tong, who's the half-drow warden extraordinaire on Revenge of the Gifts, a D&D 5e actual play. You'll love it.
All right. And with that, we're going to give some love over to Evan at Maori Nerd. They are playing some Dungeons and Dragons over there. So everybody, wave bye. See you later, alligator.